So, in a very surreal moment, reading The Gentleman from Moscow. First time I've ever heard about this book. It just had a very nice cover that was very appealing, and I clicked it on my Kobo, downloaded it, and started reading. The synopsis of this, the brief summary, is basically about a former royalty during Tsarist times in Russia who is now relegated to house arrest and living in a hotel. And ironically, the situation he finds himself in is that he's been moved essentially from having a whole floor of the hotel to himself to moving to the attic, where there are a series of rooms used for the help and the maids and the servants that are now occupied by other random riffraff, such as furniture. And so he's had to condense his entire life from an entire story of a building into just one of these small, tiny rooms. So, in a bit of irony, I too have moved into this hotel and have found myself setting up the room in such a way as the gentleman from Moscow. So, let's take a look and see what I've done that mirrors fiction. So we walk in. Oh, I should have hid these socks. Random bathroom. Uh, Lots of mildew and mold dripping from here, so it's very stuffy in this entrance. But yes, here I have my little trunk suitcase, a little bench, a little chair that I find myself reclining on, um, a bed, and another desk. And so, oddly enough, um, this stuff was rearranged in a different area. The desk and the furniture were all shunted off into this corner over here, away from the beach scenery. And I don't like working in corners. And I don't like looking at myself in the mirror at all. I find myself looking at my face too much. And so, oddly enough, I don't know if you want to see me filming like this or maybe looking the other way. Let's look the other way. So, oddly enough, uh, I don't like looking at myself in the mirror as I'm working. I don't like having a mirror in front of my desk. I find myself looking at my beautiful face too much, or turning into a Dorian Gray and seeing all the evils on the inside hidden by the exterior of my face. And so, anyhow, what's really funny is that as the Count in the book Gentleman from Moscow is bemusing, he's thinking about how mirrors are deceitful, actually. And that's one of the reasons why I don't like working in front of mirrors, is because the deceit is brought to the forefront of my mind as I'm trying to write. And that's what I'm trying to clear my mind of. And so that's one irony that happens, actually, in setting up this hotel a la The Gentleman from Moscow. He's moving all his stuff and condensing his entire life into an attic because that's where the Bolsheviks have sent him to. And so he finds himself in front of this mirror, and these are the thoughts that he has in front of the mirror, which is the same thoughts that I have in front of this mirror and in front of this basically penthouse room. And at the same time, he's had to rearrange the furniture, and I've had to rearrange the furniture in this room too, from the desk in the corner to a desk facing out. And oddly enough, none of this hit me until I saw the cover on my Kobo. And so I was like, dude, I'm like this guy in this fictional book, except this fictional book is a fictional book, but my life is a nonfiction story. And here in this book, the gentleman from Moscow is rearranging his room. He only has one desk, one bureau, one chest, one chair, one bed. And he has to just rearrange it. And he only has enough space to walk around and circumambulate, as the author writes, 10 feet. And so I too have moved around the furniture in my room so that I have 10 feet of space to circumambulate around here. So yeah, this is the view from my room, and it just shocks me because I really wanted to come to Vietnam to rest and relax, but in fact, all there is there's just construction 24/7, nonstop. Um, Tons of buses that are always honking. Yeah, there are waves and ocean, but you can't actually see the ocean from the street because of all the cars. And the beach is so tiny because they've bulldozed the entire beach so that they could put up these buildings right here. And you can't even hear the sound of the waves or the ocean because there's so many cars. Now it's the middle of the day right now, so there's not a lot of cars, but still, nonetheless, you can't see nor hear the ocean unless you're walking on the beach itself. Um, so yeah, I find myself just staring out, people watching, just like this guy under house arrest in this book.